Hello, Internet. My name is Tanookduke, and today we will be reviewing Nintendo's second worst failure, as I like to call it, the Wii U. Now, the Wii U was an odd little system with a few noticeable hardware improvements and a confusing marketing campaign. The Wii U was seen to most Wii owners as a Wii but with HD graphics. But when the Wii U came out, I wanted one because I thought that most kids at school would have one too, and I'd be able to connect more people. Unfortunately, this didn't happen, as I remember that not a single person in my middle school knew what a Wii U was. Some people not even knowing what a Wii was. Strange, right? Looking at the Wii U itself, the console is bigger and much heavier than the original Wii was. It has two USB ports on the front, an SD card slot, a power button, and a sync button as well as a CD slot. As you can see, I have a bundle version here with the black color scheme and the black colored gamepad as well. Going back to the console itself, I never understood why the system has a sync button on it. If all other accessories like the Wii Motes and the gamepad having one, why would the system need one? Besides, it's not like I've ever needed to use that button anyway. Gamepad is a 6.2-inch screen with two sticks at the top, with buttons and a D-pad underneath. It also has area for NFC support for Amiibo and a camera. Honestly, the gamepad feels a bit clunky and too big to be the standard controller, and the control sticks don't help as their placement feels awkward compared to a PS3 or Xbox One controller at the time. Not only that, but the fact that most, if not all, of the Wii U software barely uses the features of the gamepad. And when a game does utilize the gamepad's abilities, it usually requires looking back and forth between the gamepad and the TV, making it hard to follow what's happening on both screens. For one example, Pikmin 3 uses a Go Here feature that allows you to multitask and send your captains with their Pikmin to other places as you do your thing. But the only way to best utilize this feature is to quickly look at the gamepad and the TV as you send one of your captains away. This not only confuses me, the player, as I play, but can get frustrating when you realize that you wasted time sending your captain to a wrong area or the AI can't navigate around a certain obstacle. Especially in an action oriented game, the gamepad just gets in the way of something that could be all displayed on a single screen. And we see this in a bunch of Switch releases like Captain Toad and Pikmin 3, example that I just stated, where everything was just put on one screen and works fine. You don't need the second screen, showing how superfluous the second screen was. Moving on, some positives of the system were the fact that the eShop allowed a way for you to get Nintendo releases at home without needing to snag down a copy. That was nice. The Wii also had Miiverse, a social media platform which worked on 3DS and on mobile devices. Allowed you to send messages and drawings to people in other soft pieces of software. But if you had the app, you could send it like a normal piece of social media software. Now, if you remember when Miiverse was around, it was weird. If you can just find a bunch of videos out there online that state stuff about this, saying or Miiverse messages that were just weird and creepy. It was weird. Nintendo should have just had someone else monitor it because in the end they removed it before they even turned off online support. It still works today, which man, I wish they did it again though. I really do wish they did it again. Now, the Wii U also included more virtual titles, such as which called the Virtual Console. It brought Game Boy Advance, DS, and even Wii titles to the lineup, which makes sense. It also allowed for Wii titles to be played on it, physical Wii titles to be played on the system as DS titles, which is multiple screens, but not GameCube titles. Actually, a weird story. I once thought that my Wii U could play GameCube titles, and I was trying desperately to rip off the top half of my Wii U because I thought it would work. And then I started looking up online. And I realized, oh, that's probably not going to work. So, good thing I didn't rip it off. The Wii has some of the most unique games around, like Captain Treasure Tracker and Nintendo Land, both of which are two examples of a game that utilized the gamepad's features well. But with the gamepad having below average battery life, it made playing games all day almost impossible. The gamepad also included a button that allowed you to control your TV with the gamepad, which sounds useless. This is one of the many features that the gamepad and Wii U itself had that others never used, like the internet browser, the IR sensor, and video call software that was called Wii U Chat, just to name a few. Overall, the Wii U is a nice system to have around when I was growing up, despite the lack of friends I knew who owned one, and despite the system flaws and eventual failure. I would still say I don't regret getting a Wii U, though if you had a Wii U and a 3DS, you had like the best of both worlds, because people did own a 3DS. Rarely today I ever play my Wii U with the fact I own a Switch now, but recently I've bought games with it because of the eventual shutdown of its online storefront, the eShop, the Wii U eShop, as I'm sure you all know about. I'm mostly buying old Wii and GBA games because of the Virtual Console, and the system alone makes the machine an emulating beast. Anyway, I'm Tanookduke, and I'll see you all next time when we go through the Wii U's eShop.